Good morning and welcome back to Ravenport. We harvested the corn overnight. I didn't show you, or I haven't shown you so far, when you come into a field you see down in the bottom right hand corner the data you need. You can see it's 100% fertilized, it's soybeans, it's growing, and it's 100% weed infested. Now unfortunately, because I skipped night and this is now at the second growth stage, I cannot use our mechanical weeder on this field. I can use it on the field that we've replanted with soy over there, because that's the growth stage behind this one. So we'll get on with that quite soon because I don't want to miss that opportunity. And we'll think about what we're going to do with this field. Once the weeds have got to this stage, you need to spray them. But I'm going to have a look when we look at the figures that we've kind of made our minds up on so far, whether it's actually worth us leasing the equipment. Will it actually increase the yield or protect the yield enough to make that worthwhile? That's something we'll consider at this early stage of the game. Anyway, let's get aboard our Fent. We've already put about 2,300 corn straight from the harvester into the pig trough. And we're going to add a couple more thousand out of here just to keep them going so we don't lose that productivity. So I'm just going to focus for a moment. Oh, that'll do. And this we are going to go and sell over at the port grain elevator, where we look at the prices. We can get 477 per 1,000 litres, so we'll get just under $5,000 for this load. I'm going to run up and drop that, get that money. We did harvest overnight. Here's a little bit of footage of us doing that, and you'll understand why you don't see too much of it. And here we are, we're just finished harvesting the corn over here in the dark. It's 9:30. This is why you don't see much video footage of people playing in the dark, because the gameplay is bad enough. I do avoid working in the dark if at all possible. By the time I've recorded it, rendered it, uploaded it, and you're streaming it back on YouTube, this probably looks rather like a bucket of slugs. But there you go. We've got a trailer full of corn, 12,000, and we've got 2,500 left in the harvester, which I'm going to dump straight in with the pigs. But anyway, this is probably the only night time you'll see, unless I get a particularly nice moon. There he is. Not a spectacular one tonight, but there you go. We're just getting down towards the sell point. I'll put the mini map on. Let you have our first little look at the coast. You can see the port is quite busy. Container ship on its way out. We need to, I believe, get in here and get around the building. Oh no, through here, look. Still very much learning my way around this map. Is this okay? Oh my word, okay. That's the train sell point right there. Okay, that really did take me by surprise. Oh, we're okay, but I can sell there. That's kind of interesting. Oh yeah, look, train tracks. Right, okay. Death by train. I got it on the video. I didn't even stage that, I absolutely promise you. So is this the same sell point as that one around there? So I would get the same price. I assume it wants me to take this up in here, does it? Drop this off. There we are. So hopefully just under $5,000. Wow, okay. I hope that hasn't caused any damage to the equipment. We seem okay. I thought there was going to be collision damage, but I think we'd have found out if there was. Just very briefly, while we're on the subject, there's no kind of vehicle screen in the sense that there was before. What you get, what you get now is, if you have a look, the maintenance isn't charged daily. Maintenance is something we have to do. And I'm looking at the plough is already down to 43%. And the seed is under 50%. Now quite what happens when they get a bit worn out and broken. I know performance on vehicles is affected. I'm not sure about equipment. We'll find out, because I'm going to let something break. Yes. Anyway, we've sold that. Our next job, which I'll do here so you don't have to watch me drive back. We'll just have a little looky out here. Look. Wow, very pretty. Very nice indeed. Anyway, we want contracts because what we need to do, we've got just under $170,000. I want to make $30,000 before we really progress with today, other than doing the weeding. So while I think of it and remember, we've got a huge ploughing mission up on field 8. I don't really care what I have to do. I'm going to do most of it off camera, obviously, or I'd get about 5 episodes out of some of these jobs. 21,000 there. We could do 2 ploughing missions, make ourselves the 30,000 we require. I would still like to find a harvesting mission for some sugar beet. Ah, there you go. So I may well do that mission as one of them. So that's 14,200, and that one plus that one will be more than enough money. So I think we're going to do the big ploughing mission on field 8, and then we'll do this. In fact, we're going to accept this mission now. We're going to have to lease the equipment, but if you recall, it's not really... Oh, we've got potatoes there, which will make us about $2,800. Or we've got sugar beet there, which will make us much more money. And there should be more sugar beet left over because it's a much bigger yield. So anyway, I'm going to accept that contract now, and I'm going to lease the items. Now, I don't actually have to rush off and do that now. My first job is to do the weeding before any plant growth happens. So we'll see you back at the farm to do that. So we're back down on the farm. We're just going to grab the weeder. When I drove past the shop, all the equipment for the beet harvesting contract is up there, including a very big trailer. And thanks to Chock and Dog, one of our subs and commenters, for letting me know that you can use a trailer that you've leased for a contract to move your own crops around. That could be quite handy if you've got an unusually big yield coming up. Might be a good idea to sync that with a mission that lets you lease a huge trailer at a reduced price. Right, we're going to unfold this huge weeder. I'm going to start down in this corner. Can we actually see the weeds in the field? Get out and have a little look, shall we? I can't really see any. Maybe we've caught them really... Ah, there's some. Is that a weed? Yeah, that's probably a weed. And these will visually clear. We just have a little look on the map for the field state. There we are. We're weedy. So, let's get on. All we need to do... I'm going to put the help window back on, because we've got a new piece of equipment now. All I need to do is lower the weeder. Don't turn the weeder on, because that's what you do if you want it to be planting at the same time. And you could plant grass or a cover crop, but we can quite happily just lower it. Don't need to switch it on. If you have switched it on, it will still carry on with the weeding when you're driving manually. If you do try to then let a worker carry on the weeding for you, he'll stop because he hasn't got any seed. If you have that problem, it's not a glitch, it's because you've turned the planter on. Just leave that turned off and he'll weed quite happily for you. Right, so I'm just going to let a worker have a little go. Oh. And we'll just see. There you go, our work is reflected on the map immediately. Fantastic. But I'm going to crack on with this myself. Let's just have a little look. Can we really discern much of a difference? There's not really much weed at the moment to see. When they get bad, we'll probably see in the other field they're all flowery and tall and nasty looking. I'm just going to get on with this manually. I want to save a little bit of money, but before I do take over, just on the subject of money, if we look yesterday, wages, because I had no idea what the wage bill was going to be, like $4,700 for a whole day's wages, which the contracts didn't quite offset. So wages are quite expensive, so I am going to look to kind of reduce them where I can, including dismissing this worker, lowering the weeder, and putting myself at the helm. I shall be back when we've carried on with this. It's going to be a little bit tricky maybe to see exactly where we've been, similar to how it is with fertilising, but I'll do my best. Right, the weeding is done, as you can see there on the map. Field 21 we'll think about afterwards. I'm going to do some maths while we're getting on with this mission and look at the equipment we've leased for very little money. This Homer Panther 2 would normally cost $30,000 just to lease for an hour, and I think $375,000 to buy, plus the header. Lovely bit. I think it's a 52,000 litre trailer. These items don't show up in your leased items, so don't look for them there. Right, we're going to head off up to, let's double check our destination, field 10, and we've got to bring the stuff back to the restaurant, which is right by our farm, which is kind of handy. So field 10 is up kind of top northeast corner up here. So I'm going to get these beasts up there and we will get started. Now I hope I've got some room here. Sometimes it spawns things here at the shop and you haven't actually really got the maneuver room, but we can make it. It's a very tough rubbish bin. There we go. Right. Look at all these screens. One of them must be the iPad. Very nice piece of kit. Completely out of our league in our playthrough, other than to do this. So nice way to try these out. I'm going to check the train tracks. Once bitten, twice shy. Okay, we've got our first load of 31,000 beat. We need to take that down to the restaurant sell point by our farm. I was just watching the worker. I'm going to leave a worker running whilst I do this, just to save time overall. Do that turn. The potato harvester I used when I was doing some field testing on another map was really horrible, leaving the worker to turn it. I'll show you that another time maybe. But that Homer is a very nice smooth machine to use and turn. Yeah, plods along at 7 miles an hour. Not bad at all. And here, the Fendt 724 and the Joskin 31,000 litre trailer with it, which has rear wheel steering. Just to point out, this field 8, the biggest field on the map by far, I noticed it had a mission up to plough it. Look, the whole crop of corn has withered, so I don't mind driving through it because it's a handy shortcut. Anyway, I'm just going to get on with this. I'll come back to you when we finish the mission and figured out how much sugar beet we can steal. We started at 7:15 in game time, so we'll see how long it took to. I'm literally just getting the very last of this sugar beet harvest. I'm trying to figure out exactly what the figures on the mission screen mean. Right, that's everything done. He's got 16,500 left in him. We're down here with 31,000 ready to unload. And the mission screen says we're 97% complete. So I'm going to be very careful on how much we put in here. Right, what does that say now? 98. It seems like we could end up with quite a huge amount. Let's have a look. 91% transported. 93% transported. Okay, let's carry on. That completion bonus does not include the dumping. 97%. So all of this load is going to be 97%. So we've got to go and get the rest and bring that back and then try the same process. So we'll do that. And I've left a worker harvesting while I've been dropping off the loads, and it's kind of been probably 45% me, or optimized it would be, once I'd found the best route through. And I did tip over the trailer just once and needed to get the front loader to come and rescue me. But we'll keep that between us, shall we? But here we are. I've got to take it easy on the corners. That's the main lesson learnt. We've got a nice little cut through. So there's no real mods out on the console yet, on the Xbox. PC players have already got quite a few to choose from that I've seen. Everything from a tent to use as your spawn point and skip night bedroom. Various maps. Quality a bit questionable from what I've seen, especially some of the map conversions. There was a cheeky one that somebody other than the original map maker ported into 19 from 17, which was talked about rather a lot in the Discord where I hang out. But I'm looking forward to getting something on here. I can't see what's come out so far, and they're all from Giants. The only one that really makes a great difference in terms of early game would be the Ursus bale wrapper. So round bales, because that's so cheap. You can get that quite early on and make the money from the silage bales. A much cheaper way of doing it than the square baler and square bale wrapper. But not something we're looking at all as yet for ourselves. It's quite a trek across here. We did have to reset the tractor, and that does take quite a chunk of petrol out of the vehicle that you've reset, so it is well worth avoiding. The way, and this is something I can't figure out, I use two different screens depending on where I am to play this game and record, and I can't get the display to fit on either screen. There's a little bit missing, and since I reset this tractor, which was probably the second load out of what's going to be 10, I've been able to tell how much petrol I've actually got left. Right, I'm going completely the wrong way. We can cut across here. Just a grass field, field 9. No harm done whatsoever. So yeah, it'd be nice when a few more mods come out. The game is so different when you've got those to play with, especially when you want to do it quite hard and gradual. The Akpil Bulwar 2 potato harvester. Another game changer almost of a mod that was in 17. Right, so let's get the last of these. There's not really much to speak of over this side of the map. Over behind us there is a sort of a car park and some buildings with the dam. Quite a nice view from over there, down along the river. But nothing at all to kind of interact with or take over there. There is a road cutting through the top corner of the screen. Is that a piece of purchasable land up there? Let's have a look. Yes, it is. So if you want this piece of woodland, there is a route back down here over the dam. Right, we got all of that, we have. So let's get on. And that's the ranch just up there. This is field 11, which we did a job on and took up to the ranch last time. No, it was 17, wasn't it? I have done a field. I get confused. I've got a couple of different playthroughs going on. One where I'm just experimenting, and the results of that experimenting have been to basically plant one field with every possible crop to see how they compare, and then you can get an idea of what the prices mean in terms of comparative between, say, wheat and soy. You get twice as much wheat out of a field as you do soy. Soy is still the lowest yield crop, which makes transporting quite handy. So that means you need the price of the soy to be more than twice the price of wheat for the soy to be more profitable. And I will put up a graphic towards the end of this video that will just show you the kind of the comparatives. Potatoes seem to be a great one, but again an expensive option at the moment with the equipment you can get. Potatoes seem to be worth about half as much as wheat, but you get 4 times as much yield, so that's twice as much income from the same patch of ground, and then the rest kind of vary in between. I haven't tried anything like poplar, just the crops. Right. Nearly back there, and now we should try the delicate process of stealing some sugar beet for the pigs. Now one of our subs has left us a bit of a formula, which I'm going to check. I think he's about right. He says about 5% is left over, so of the total yield, which is about 145,000 here, but anyway, I'm not going to get too exact over the maths. We are at 100% harvest progress. We've just got to drop a bit more off, so we were at 97%, weren't we? So go. I'm not expecting it to be a huge amount. Ah, right, there you go. We have actually got a huge amount left. We've got 9,000 left. That's a lot. I think 20 pigs are gonna consume about 100 a day. So this may be all the sugar beet we need for quite some time. Let's see if the truffle, how much the truffle take. Oh, excuse me. Right. Go. It's taken all of it. That's a lot more. I'll have to do some recalculations on how quickly the food is consumed by these pigs. I'm making a pig every 3 pigs a day now, so that's quite handy. And I did make a huge mistake. I thought we'd started with 20 pigs. We didn't because of financial restrictions, so do forgive me for that, but it doesn't matter. The pigs will start making money, I think, in about 3 or 4 days. That's when we're going to start selling them. Anyway, that's the first mission out of the way. So we can complete that mission and get the money. And we now need about another $20,000. Don't forget though, we've got the income from some of this crop today to also take into account. Okay, and our next contract is going to be the ploughing contract on field 8, which is actually going to be to plough out all of that withered corn. 21,800 payment minus 6,200 for renting the equipment, which we're going to do. I mean, technically we could use our tractor and our subsoiler to do this. It would take twice as long, and I think this is going to take a while anyway. And incidentally, the last contract took 45 minutes to complete, and doing it the way I did, which was having the worker do it just while I was driving back and forth dropping off the crop, cost $1,900. Wages are quite expensive, but it's just something to take into account. It's less profit rather than an expense in my head anyway, so it's just something to bear in mind. So we're going to accept this contract and lease the items. And here we are in the Case IH 380 CVX. We get a front weight. This is a 6-meter plough. It's a monster, isn't it? We'll take the front weight with us. Once we get all hitched up, we'll have a look inside. Very nice colour. Red on the cases. I do like case red. Matches the plough beautifully. Oh, here we are. Yes, look at that. Nice looking chair. I'd be quite happy to have a chair like that in my car. Right, off we go to field 8. Watch out for trains. And where your plough's going. Right, field 8, straight up the hill. We know where he is. The render range can be a little bit short on this. In fact, I'll try to catch it. The train kind of teleports in almost like it's coming back from the future when it comes into shot. Oh, and I also noticed, I just checked the last kind of bit of footage, put it into Movie Maker, that on that screen I can see the whole screen, so at least it's all getting recorded. Just realised how low on petrol I was in that least Fent we used for the mission. Alright. Only 14 miles an hour, crikey. This plough is hefty. Yeah, and I really can say for sure that the weight, the physics management of weight in this version of the game is much more noticeable than in the previous ones. I wouldn't have expected pulling a piece of equipment along with a reasonably powerful tractor to be slowing me down at all. Right. Here we go. So I'm guessing we need to unfold this bad boy. Where do we need to go? Be easier if I was at the other end of the field, I think. Let's have a look. Off we go. Let's get zoomed right out. I want to be about here, I think. Yeah, that'll do. Right, lower plough. It's 9:15. No, look, that's miles out. Where am I supposed to be? Is it actually dragging around like that? It's catching me out a little bit. It doesn't look much like 6 meters either to me. I need to be here. Okay. I'll figure it out. Wish I could zoom out a little bit more. It's a very long piece of machinery. What about here? No. Centre line on the edge of the field. Let's try that, shall we? Oh, I'm not liking this plough too much at all. I hope you're having a good giggle at me. Right, it's 9:15. I'll be back when this is finished. I think it may be some time. Okay, so here we are, we're doing the mission, and my god, guys, this is painful. This tractor's supposed to have 60 horsepower more than this plough needs to use and go at 7 miles an hour. I'm getting 3 miles an hour out of it. And because the tractor does seem underpowered in comparison to the plough, it kind of flaps around. Look, the width is just all over the place. If I try to correct it and move over here, then the plough pulls back behind the tractor and gets narrower again. And then I come back this way and then it folds back out. It's really taking ages. I'm up to 44% on the mission. I did fast forward time at ×5 to get the other field ready to harvest, but this is taking hours. When I get to 50%, because I'm leaving it running at 1x speed, I shall see how long it takes me to get to the end of the mission. So we'll know how long it took overall, because I've lost track. And this is, if I leave the worker to do it, it's going to cost an absolute fortune. You're having to constantly adjust the tractor. You can't take your eye off it for a minute because it will start veering off anyway. Really not enjoying it. This is certainly not a plough I would recommend. Right, so we're going to swing it around. There's just so much swing in the plough, and it's articulated in the middle but not locked, so it can just kind of start folding back up on itself. Now this should, right, I'm going to put the plough back down here. And just look at the back end, it kind of is pulling around. That back wheel's never quite running straight, which might be another reason that we're getting so much drag. I don't really know. Seems to be set, but is that 6 meters? I don't know. Anyway, on with the show. I'll share my pain with you though. Here you go, look, this is the worker trying to do it. I've actually brought the fence up, you can see him over in the background to try to help, but it seems once you've started using once you've got the contract equipment, you can't use your own. So, yeah. We reached 50% completion at 1 o'clock, 1300 hours. Luckily, this is the kind of thing you can do whilst watching Netflix or whatever else it is. But as I say, it just requires so much attention because the tractor's getting dragged from side to side as well. You can't just kind of put it on cruise control and just turn it round at the end of the fields, that hopefully you would like it to be like that. It just isn't. So this is yet a really painful mission. I don't think I'm going to want another ploughing mission that involves using this plough, to be honest. But hopefully we won't need to do one. Okay guys, the mission is complete. That's taken me for the second 50% an hour and 45 minutes. 3.5 hours at least for the whole mission, probably closer to 4 with the faffing. In the end I just drove round and round the field. It saved all the hassle of turning. The workers just don't get it. Not a good piece of equipment. It's the centre articulation that doesn't lock. So I don't know, it just doesn't quite seem to work. Whether this tractor is a little underpowered or not, I don't know. But anyway, let's complete the mission, please. $15,500. Thank you very much. We've got 194. We need a little bit more. We're going to run over here and get our Fent back to base. We're going to check on our field. The first field is ready to harvest, but that's the one with the weed in it. So we're actually going to see you at the shop, because we have a couple of things to pick up there on the way back. And I shall reveal the purpose of all this labour. We are at the shop and we have been joined by the front loader arms, which I did reset here. There's no penalty for resetting the equipment. When you reset vehicles, they need petrol. They lose a lot of petrol. So just bear that in mind. It's something I avoid doing anyway, but once in a while you may need to. Into the shop. Right. We're going to buy a couple of things and we're going to lease something. We're going to buy the log fork. We're going to make it white. You know why, if you know me. And we need to buy a weight. And I think this 1100 kilo one will be perfect for our needs. And we are going to lease one piece of equipment. Now right now we need to go to baling equipment for the cheapest option. We want something to put wood on. You may guess where we're going with this. If we look in forestry equipment, the price of this trailer here, the timber run, has been greatly inflated from where it was before. It's $2,200 to lease that, and let me see, $2,200 to lease that, and it would be for nearly $3,000. The option that I have that is cheaper at the moment, there's no Brantner, is this Flegel bale trailer, which is $16,000, so about $12,000 less to buy. You can take the extensions off of it, so you get $1,500 off. So that's now $16,000, $1,200 to lease. We are going to lease ourselves one of those, and we are going to do a little bit of basic forestry just to get our money up to where we need it to be. But first we're going to look in on the fields. Now we're going to need to put the front weight for now on there. Are we? Ah, no, right, here we go. We're going to need the front weight on the back with the trailer hitched onto it, because this trailer will hitch onto the back weight, unlike the dolly. So drop that there. Then we want to put the plough down for now, just there. We attach the plough on the front, the weight on the back, and the trailer on the weight, and we are good to go. Ta-da! Slightly restricted view, but we know where we're going. So we're going to cut down just a couple of trees. We need, now that we've leased this equipment, about $6,000, which I think is going to be 2 decently sized trees from the land that we own. Let's just go and check in on our fields first. I'm going to use the cut through up here, back of the restaurant. Right, so this is ready to harvest, but it is weedy. But I can't really see any weeds. They're small weeds. Now, in the description it says the yield comes down, let's check, 20% for bad weeds. Remove bad weeds, otherwise minus 20%. Now I'm expecting this field to give us a harvest of around 5,000, maybe 5,500 soy. So if we were to take a fifth off of that, the 20% for the weed, that's going to be 4,000. That's quite an easy sum. And that's going to be around, looking at today's prices, soy's right over there on the right hand side. Yeah, it's not worth it. Basically the point I'm trying to make is the 1,000 litres of soy we may lose by not weeding this field now will cost us, in money terms, about $800 to lease the equipment, the cheapest equipment there is to spray it, which is what it now needs. And we'll get used to this one day. Crop protection, I'm going to need that, which will cost a minimum of $2,400, which is 3 times more than the yield that, you know, the crop we would get from using it. So at this occasion, although we do like to be completist, don't we, it's just economically unviable to weed that field. So we're just going to toddle off. Now, the biggest, tallest trees, in fact there's a likely candidate. You know what, I haven't even got it as a chainsaw, so that's another $1,000 we need to spend. The biggest tree I think we've got on the land that we own is over here. Put the mini map on, just on the other side of field 18. Also got soy in it. This is the one we weeded this morning. Let's just jump in the field. See, weed 0%, soybeans growing 100%, fertilized, perfect. So there's a lovely big tree over here. We're going to get him. I think he's going to be worth about $4,000. And then maybe a couple of his smaller friends. We'll leave the trailer just here. These bushes fortunately have no physics. Leave the trailer about here. Out the tractor. Buy a chainsaw. We'll go with red. Johnson. I hope that's how you pronounce that. I'm going to take down a couple of trees, get them loaded up and head up to the sell point, and then I'll see you there. The intention here, I shall reveal once we made enough money. It involves the equipment I'm using now, and what may be a scam might just be considered very clever business. I just had to rejoin you briefly to show you how wonderfully the log grabbers have been patched. I know a lot of people are resorting to do it with the silage forks. I can't bring myself to do that. They kind of work, these things, they just don't look like they're working. Right, anyway, we're going to cut down that big tree up there right on the edge of our land. That's worth a couple of thousand at least. And we're going to grab that taller tree just behind the tractor there, and maybe that one, yeah, and I'll see you at the timber yard. Assuming this counts as our land, this close up here. Seems to be giving me a cut marker. Lovely, it's ours. We are on board the Fent. We are loaded. Probably 5 trees we've got here. 4 of the bigger ones that were around and 1 slightly smaller one. To be honest, I think that's all the trees that I would usually say, oh, I'm going to cut that down and sell it on the land that we own so far. So let's see. We need 8,000. I'm sure we'll be fine for that. Can't disable the old camera collision yet. That was a mod for 17 that I really wish we could already have to stop that sort of thing from happening. It can be quite annoying around buildings. Might try and sell that wood one day, you know me. Oh, creeping along, see, 9 miles an hour. I've had much bigger loads on trailers like this before. The log grabs, I'm kind of getting a knack of it. Next episode I'm sure there'll be some more woodland involved, and I'll give you an update. It's really the knack of releasing the wood from the claws in a managed way, especially using a trailer like this with no side support, so you have got to kind of put it down reasonably carefully. Right, now here we are at the sell point, disguised as a biogas plant, is it? Yep. Come on, $8,000 please. 16,000, that's much more than I expected. I'm quite pleased about that. That's very, very good. Yeah, okay. I seem to be quite lucky in this game that when I kind of project and do maths, if I make an error, it's kind of an error on the side of caution. Look, can I pick this one up? Is it too heavy? This in England is what we call, well, the expression would be money for old rope. Here, money for old wood, $58. You know, I don't mind tidying up your pile of rubbish for you. Come on. Who knows? This money could. I can't lift him. He's too heavy. Wasn't there another piece here? You're a stump. You're too heavy. I'm not going to bother hauling them around, but as you can see, these bits of wood, there's some out in the woods as well. They are sellable. I'm going to save that for the rainy day. That's the rainy day money. Let's get so desperate we are crawling around on our hands and knees finding pieces of mouldy wood. Right, what you would like to know, and we're pretty much at the end of this episode time-wise. We haven't touched the fields, but that's okay. The next episode will be out soon. I had a bit of a busy week, and this episode is taking hours to make because of the jobs. So do bear with me. You know I do this as a love, as a hobby. I'm going to park right here. Now, one of our lovely subs and commenters asked me what I thought about the flipping hack or whatever exploit. He was referring to, and it's Kevin Frost. He was referring to, I think he's seen a couple of YouTubers buy land, harvest the field, sell the harvest, and then sell the land again. I'd already come up with a similar kind of, I don't know if we're going to call it a scam or clever business. I've looked around the map, and there are these areas of land that are just woodland. There's no fields associated with them. This one down here is $197,000. It's got, I've done a recce on it. It's got a reasonably good amount of trees because some of the woodland areas don't really, or not really the high value sort of pine trees. So what we are going to do, this is our little project. We're buying that land. Now we can cut down and sell all the timber on that and then sell the land and get the money back, and the timber is the profit. Now I'm not in a rush to do that. We've sunk some money in it. It's going to cost us about $2,000 a day in interest for the money that we've kind of got on loan to have bought that land. So that's the only expense now. So day by day we're going to clear some of that forestry. Probably I'm going to do a bit before the next episode. No, I'm not actually. I've just changed my mind completely. I'm going to be back for the next episode, which is going to be completely field and pig based right here. Then we'll have an idea of where we are, harvest, yield, income wise, without any extras. And then day by day I'm going to fell the timber from over there, not make a big deal out of it, unless we want to get some money to go for a particular appliance. And we'll take it from there. So that's my little scam. I can see the sense of buying a field, harvesting in it, and then selling it. But how much money are you actually making for the time? I mean, I've always in the past when I bought a field, if possible, made sure I've done the fertilizing missions on it and the ploughing missions on it. So when I buy the field, it's at 100% yield. I don't know how that would quite work here, but anyway, I'm just going to stick to the woodland. That's going to be my thing. So I'm going to have to get on with these timber grabbers because that's the only option I have. I'm not using a silage fork. That is just too dirty even for me. So Osnofgan approval is not given to that method. The pigs are fine. We'll have a little look. we're now up to 20 pigs. We actually started with 18, so we're 2 ahead. We're making 3 pigs-ish a day, so that's going to escalate. They're worth about 1,000 each, but I'm not really looking to sell any pigs until we've got quite a good number. Because you need, once you've got a set number, maybe 50, 60, we'll see. We've got a capacity on this pig pen, which is obviously going to be an issue. Investing in a bigger one at the beginning of the game was just an impossibility. But anyway, we'll look at the details of these porkers when we need to give them a little bit more attention. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I think we've kind of got the farm where I want to really just crack on and do the farming day by day now. I really wanted to get that land purchased to try to exploit the woodland off it. And you can see why that had to be done first, and you can see why I had to do the missions to get the money. So we'll be back with you soon. Leave us a like if you've liked the episode. Keep the comments coming and the suggestions and the information. I've only got so much sense in my head and time on the clock to look into things and find things out. So if you know something better than I do, then please do let me know. Subscribe if you want to stay in touch, and click the notification bell if you want to be alerted when a new video comes out, which will be within the next day or so. Thank you very much for now. Goodbye.